Last two properties, although actually one of them wasn't really a property, but is still, I think, something that is confusing. But before we get to that, let's look at the seventh property, which is zero exponents. And this stated that a to the 0 was 1, as long as a was not 0. We don't deal with problems in this module where a is 0 because we established that that would be undefined. So an example of this would be ab over c to the 0 is 1. And because we had an extra box here, because there were 7 properties, we included one here on negatives with bases. So negative a to the n is negative 1 times a to the n, which is negative 1 times a times a times a, and just keeps going. You will notice that the base is a without a negative. The negative is here. Now, a, if we were to pick a value, or evaluate this, a could be negative. We're not saying a has to be positive. But what we are saying is this negative sign gets applied one time and at the very end after we've multiplied out a repeatedly. The difference being that this one is let's fix that, sorry, is negative a times negative a times negative a times negative a dot dot dot. All right, so here is an example. This would be from the 5-1A lesson or homework that you could find more of these. So negative 3 to the 4th written without parentheses means take the opposite of 3 to the 4th, which is negative 1 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which comes out to be negative 81. If in doubt, expand it out. There's a good time when you can use that. We can also use it with some of our, in fact, with all of our other exponent properties, although we just need to maybe apply it or think of a problem where maybe the exponent isn't too crazy. And then as we get to ones that were a bit more intense, like maybe this 210 one, then we can do that one without expanding. Again, if you're looking for another example from negatives with bases, or you want an example where there are parentheses wrapping the negative sign in the base, sort of like this, the 5-1A lesson or homework, you could find some examples.